Good evening. I'm back. And we're going to keep going with Stratus. There are 5 other things to go over, and if each one of those is as long as the one that we did last week, I think I'm only going to do 2 hours of this tonight. Because that's a lot of the same thing to be doing an entire 3-hour stream. So I've kind of got an additional plan for the last bit of last bit of the stream tonight. Oh, the banner says "and stream." Thank you. And I don't have a banner for the other thing that I have planned for tonight. At least, well, I can probably reuse something. Let's see here. Where is the Lightspan? There we go. Hey there, Infamous. Okay, so I think I'd like to go over to Tecumseh, but before we get started on that, almost forgot. I've got tonight's drinky treat is Red Rock Golden Ginger Ale, and the color is really kind of neat. It's almost like a reddish gold. I kind of like it. But we'll give this a try tonight. Hey there, Danny boy, welcome. Interesting. The initial flavor, the initial ginger ale flavor, leaves a little bit quicker than usual, but then it gets followed up really quickly by a bite at the back of the throat. Well, congratulations, welcome to being old. And if you say that you're 30, I'm gonna have words with you, you whippersnapper. Yeah, thought so. Yeah, I just turned 40 last year, so I kind of had that bit of existential crisis already. I think DOS Nerd's probably the youngest one in the channel right now, but Infamous and I are both about the same age. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, I know what you mean. To be honest, I'm actually still pretty limber, but I've been I took dance when I was younger because my mom was teaching it, and I continue like stretching in those ways all the time. I haven't danced in a long time, but I still, do the stretches and everything, so it's kind of kept me in good shape. Oh, that's not fun at all. No. One other thing that the video that got brought up, the OS Treats Red Book Remembrance, that is the last OS Treats that will be on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Well, okay, it'll be the last regular one. I might do like little bite-sized OS Treats here and there if something tickles my fancy, but it's going to be replaced by a new feature in Season 4, so... but I'm pretty pleased with how this one turned out, aside from a few audio balance issues. Yeah, DOS Nerd, I was kind of running out of ideas, but the new feature is really cool. I think I might have told Infamous about it at some point, but I think you're gonna like it. And like I said, if something crosses my mind, I'll bring it back for like a one shot. Oh no, the taste test thing I mentioned, that's just going to be the new name of first trophy. I don't think I actually mentioned on the video what the new feature is going to be. Hey there, Lord Knight. Welcome, welcome. Just getting started here. We're going to click on Tecumseh and learn about people in that time period. Okay, now what type of peril is she in? Has a bad accent.
San Francisco? 1906? What am I doing here?
You're about to get hit by an earthquake.
Sarah, can you hear me? Miss Stafford? Where are
I think.
Look at your Stratus navigator. What happened? Well, let's figure it out. Do you know where you are? San Francisco, April 18, 1906. Wait a second. I know that date. That's the date of the San Francisco earthquake.
Haha, got it.
Can you get me out of here right now? Listen to me, Sarah. You can get back, but you've got to play the game. I don't want to play a game.
You're a psychopath.
I've got to go find the other kids. I'll check back with you when I can. Wait, how much time do I have? Not much. You better hurry. The earthquake could hit at any time. Good luck.
Good luck.
Oh, boy.
So, you're in kind of a fix, aren't you? Well, don't worry. I'm here to help you. You're going to meet 7 people who really lived in the 19th century. Stratus created this adventure just for you. You should feel honored. This screen is called the media screen. On the top right are 5 buttons: text, video, music, art, and literature.
I don't think you can actually get a fail
All 3 of the games that you're going to play behind the text button.
state in this game.
Right below the media button. And below the counter, you can see the map button, the go back button.
Yeah, I've heard all of this before. So Danny boy, I'm in Wisconsin. We've got some cases and of some actual cases and some deaths. It's not that bad, but we've been locked down for about a week officially. Something like that. So I'm hoping that does the trick. I work from home, and I don't have any kids that are home from school, so I'm doing pretty well myself. Ooh, interesting. Looks like we're gonna deal with a bunch of American Indian personalities here. I have been enjoying this particular disc because I'm a bit of a history buff, and aside from reading comprehension, which is the goal of the disc, I'm getting to learn some interesting stuff about history. Yes, I know. Infamous is in one of the hotter spots too, but he's doing okay so far. Fortifier mentioned that they might move to Wisconsin at some point. Okay. Ooh, a video. Do we actually have video of Tecumseh?
The settlements
No.
of the white people have reached the edge of our land. We face the same threat that our brothers to the east have faced. If we fight with guns and arrows, we will lose. My brother the prophet predicted an omen, a bright light in the sky, and it arrived just as he had foretold, and my heart pounded with excitement. Instead of each tribe trying to hold on by themselves, we will all band together. Instead of Shawnee, Delaware, Ottawa, Cherokee, Muskogee, Iroquois, we will be one great Indian nation, each ready to fight for the other.
Ah, the Five Nations.
Make this dream come true. We would not have to fight at all. I must not fail. It is our only hope.
Okay, that was a pretty good, like, representation. Although the swirling purple background kind of reminded me of the Time Traveler holographic game from the arcade.
Play 3 different games to get back: strategy, clue, and word. To win, you have to play all 3 games. If you don't get enough points, you might miss your senior prom. Well, just kidding.
Yeah, because the senior prom's the only problem that we have here. We got those instructions last time, so nothing new there. Okay. Tecumseh was a gallant Shawnee Indian leader, known as a humane individual and a brilliant military strategist. He believed that the only hope Native Americans had against the United States government was to band together. Tecumseh and his twin brother Tenskwatawa, there we go, were born near present-day Springfield, Ohio. The twins were reared by older siblings who taught them the Shawnee Code of Honesty. Tecumseh became a young man who was fierce in battle and persuasive in conversation. As a teenager, he battled against the settlers. However, he rebuked his fellow warriors for their treatment of the settlers. Tecumseh and Tenskwatawa eventually left the Shawnee tribe. The brothers developed their own set of beliefs, which the Shawnee rejected. They believed that all Native American tribes needed to band together to protect their lands from the United States government. Preaching their beliefs, the twins developed a sizable following, all the while fighting for Native American rights, much like Black Hawk and Billy Bowlegs. Although Tecumseh was the military strategist of the pair, Tenskwatawa took on this role in his brother's absence. In a particularly tragic episode, when Tecumseh was away, Tenskwatawa entered a battle against government troops led by General Harrison. The battle resulted in Tenskwatawa's defeat and Tecumseh's death. On October 5th, 1813, Tecumseh returned from his journey to find his brother and their followers in battle. Tecumseh bravely joined the fight, but was killed. He had worked hard his entire life to avoid violent clashes with government troops, but ultimately that was what killed him. Okay. Whoop. How did Tecumseh die?
Read the question, listen to the cyber strategy. Then, if you need to...
Yeah, I know. He died in battle. Weep.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct. Now don't dawdle. Here's how to play the clue game. After you...
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Brilliant with strategy, very humane, band tribes together, the land to retain. That would be Tecumseh.
You're a genius.
I wonder what decides the amount of points I get.
Ready? Here's how to play the word game. Listen to the cyber conversation.
Come on, stop it. I know. Marty drank a gallon of milk before bed. The gallant robber was caught around the corner. Or the gallant knight saved his kingdom from destruction. That would be it.
Fantastic! You got it!
Yay! Okay, so we're done with those. On to Blackhawk. Ooh, it's a very striking face.
In 1913, efforts were made by philanthropist Rodman Wanamaker to preserve a record of the Indian culture. He organized what was called the Last Great Indian Council. Tribal chiefs gathered from 169 distant reservations to take part in the historic ceremony. Never again would so many of their generation be brought together.
That was pretty cool. I love those old videos. Okay. Blackhawk was a Sauk warrior and a respected leader. He devoted his life to fighting for justice for his people. Blackhawk was born in the Sauk village in Illinois, and as a child earned many war honors. The warriors and elders of the tribe knew that he would someday become a brave fighter. As an adult, Blackhawk fulfilled this prophecy. Blackhawk became the leader of the Sauk Indians. In 1804, he signed a treaty with the settlers. He thought this treaty gave hunting rights to his white neighbors. Instead, the treaty actually gave the settlers 50 million acres of land, including Blackhawk's homestead. Blackhawk felt deceived because he had not understood the English document. He tried to renegotiate the treaty, but the settlers would not allow changes. Blackhawk became livid, and from that moment on, he fought to preserve Sauk territory and Native American rights. Blackhawk earned a reputation as a fierce warrior and was feared by most settlers. This was apparent when Blackhawk and his men, tired of fighting, approached Major Isaac Stillman to surrender. The American troops feared an attack and retreated. Because the soldiers ran away, this event was known as Stillman's Run. As a result, 40 Sauk Indians defeated 275 well-armed soldiers by accident. In 1833, he dictated his life story to Antoine Leclerc. People mistakenly thought the book was a hoax. They could not accept that a Native American could tell such an eloquent story. Blackhawk died in 1838 in Iowaville, Iowa. Interesting. You know, that kind of reminds me of some of the stories of Miles Tegg in the Dune series, where just his presence made people surrender to him. And that's kind of the point, Danny Boy. These are educational games that were distributed for the PlayStation, mostly for grade school stuff. I've really been enjoying it because, like, some of the stuff is like this. This is great historical information that I just find really interesting. What is the main idea of the passage? I mean, he was a fierce warrior, but I'm gonna say that he devoted his life to fighting for his people. Weep.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Alright, now we need to find the riddle. No, probably not. Yeah, there we go. Fierce as a warrior, but decided to be done, scared the armed soldiers and put them on the run.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
The president is an eloquent speaker. There was an eloquent when the Earth moved in front of the moon. Oh, okay, trying to confuse you with eclipse. The queen wore an eloquent gown to the ball. No, that's supposed to be elegant. So, I can't remember the last president we had that was an eloquent speaker, but oh well.
You're a genius.
Like off the cuff, eloquent. Maybe Bush or Clinton. It's not difficult to just read off a teleprompter. Ah, there's Tenskwatawa. Glad I learned how to pronounce his name in the last one. Tenskwatawa, was also called the Shawnee Prophet, was known for his visionary abilities. He was a Shawnee leader who rejected the ways of the settlers. Tenskwatawa's parents named him the Loud Voice. He kept this name until 1805 when he had a vision. The spirits demanded that he abandon vices. They also told him to deliver hope to the Shawnee people. At first, people did not listen to Tenskwatawa, but then in 1806 he correctly predicted a solar eclipse. After that, people believed he was a prophet and listened to his beliefs. Tenskwatawa's beliefs were similar to those of other Native American leaders, such as Black Hawk and Billy Bowlegs. They felt that their people must return to their traditional ways and reject the customs of the settlers. Tenskwatawa also argued Native Americans must honor the ancient system of property sharing. To further spread their beliefs, Tenskwatawa's twin brother Tecumseh often traveled to neighboring tribes. Together, the brothers gained popularity as leaders and protectors of all Native American territories. In Tecumseh's absence, Tenskwatawa was the leader. Unfortunately, he was not as politically competent as his brother. In 1811, while Tecumseh was away, Tenskwatawa decided to enter a battle for which he was unprepared. Tenskwatawa promised his warriors that they could defeat the American forces with his spiritual powers. After one day of fighting, the warriors retreated. As a result, Tenskwatawa lost both his leadership and his people's faith in him. He moved to Canada in disgrace. Eventually, Tenskwatawa moved back with the Shawnee people. He died in November 1837. Although he lived the last years of his life quietly, Tenskwatawa is remembered as a man who had a vision of freedom for his people. What event occurred that made Tenskwatawa's people see him as a prophet? The solar eclipse. He predicted a move to Canada.
Fantastic.
I saw the sign of the hockey stick in the stars. This one kind of sounds right, but I want to make sure the other ones are less fitting. Okay, yep, it was that first one. Answers given through mystical vision. This person made a fateful decision.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
The police used megaphones and vices to hold back the crew. Interesting. Crowd. Vices can be helpful when you're hungry? Well, in a way. Drinking and gambling are vices that are frowned upon in many religions. Well, not just religions. society as well.
Wonderful. You're
As long as,
correct.
I mean, unless you keep it moderated, but excessive drinking and gambling are frowned upon in more than just religion. Okay, on to Osceola. Ooh, good. A video. Nah. I personally don't really have a problem with it as long as you don't harm yourself or others. I don't drink alcohol myself, but I don't begrudge other people. Dog. Ah, fair enough. A friend of mine took me to a bar in Milwaukee on my 21st birthday, and he bought me the most chemically inoffensive drink there was at the bar, and I can't stand the smell of alcohol, so I really couldn't even get past that. Osceola was a Creek Indian warrior and a leader who strived to protect his land. Osceola resented the settlers for making his tribe abandon their homeland and live in fear. Most accounts of Osceola's life state that he was born in Georgia. After the Creek War of 1813 to 1814, the government forced Osceola and his mother to move to the Seminole country of northern Florida. Like Billy Bowlegs, Tecumseh, and Black Hawk, Osceola demonstrated amazing abilities early in his life. As a result, Osceola achieved leadership status among the Seminole people. In 1835, United States General Thompson invited Native American leaders to discuss the Treaty of Payne's Landing. This treaty proposed that all Seminoles would move to government-controlled Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Most Native Americans felt it was an unjust proposal. As the legend goes, Osceola expressed his feelings by plunging a dagger through the document. This unfair treaty was one cause of the Second Seminole War, which lasted from 1835 to 1842. Osceola became a major force in this war. Capturing Osceola became a priority for the United States government. Despite special missions to hunt him down, Osceola eluded troop after troop. Finally, the humiliated General Thomas S. Jessup decided that he had to capture Osceola in any way possible. Jessup displayed a white flag to pretend he was surrendering. He did this to lure Osceola into the camp. In this act, Jessup flagrantly betrayed the rules of war, and Osceola was captured. Osceola died on January 30th, 1838, only 3 months after Jessup imprisoned him. It's said that he died of a broken spirit. After Osceola's death, the Seminoles were demoralized and eventually defeated. They felt a great loss without their mighty leader, who embodied the spirit of the Seminole Nation. How did General Jessup capture Osceola? By faking his own surrender.
You're a genius.
Okay. There we go. With daggers in eyes and one in hand, this person fought hard to protect the homeland.
Fantastic. You got it.
The old man flagrantly broke the restaurant's no-smoking rule when he began puffing on a cigar. Well, that's the right one. I flagrantly hid my journal so no one would find it. Going to sleep is flagrantly impossible with all that noise. Those are interesting uses of the word, but not correct.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Okay. On to Billy Bowlegs. Okay. Billy Bowlegs was a fearless Seminole chief from Florida. Bowlegs was Billy's nickname. His birth name was Holata Miko, or Alligator Chief. No one knows how Billy received his nickname. Some think it came from a white trader named Bowleck. Others believe Billy was actually bow-legged from constantly riding horses. By any name, Billy was a great chief. Bowlegs fought in the Seminole Wars to defend tribal land. While Seminole chiefs McCanopy and John Jumper left their homes to avoid wars with the settlers, Billy remained. He believed that Native Americans should fight to keep their homeland and did just that. Seminole and Creek leaders like Osceola and Wildcat banded together with Bowlegs to protect their rights. Other tribes leaders such as Tecumseh and Tenskwatawa also fought for Native American rights. Initially, Bowlegs and the settlers tried to peacefully solve their problems. Unfortunately, they were not successful in reaching a truce. By 1855, the situation became violent when Billy's house was destroyed by soldiers. Bowlegs and his men were so enraged they no longer cared about keeping peace and wanted vengeance for what the soldiers had done. The two sides fought bloody battles until 1858 when Bowlegs finally surrendered. By this time, Osceola and many other Native Americans were already dead. Bowlegs did not want to concede, but realized that fighting for freedom cost too many lives. After his defeat, Billy moved west to Indian Territory. A few families remained, living in the Florida swamps. They formed the basis of today's Seminole tribe in Florida. Billy Bowlegs died on April 2nd, 1859. Bowlegs lived his life fighting for what he believed was right. What event made Billy change his mind about solving problems peacefully? His house was destroyed by settlers. He was not elected governor of Florida.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
Okay, clue. I think it might be this one. When others left, this person remained. Florida homelands fought to maintain. Yay!
You're a genius.
Concede. I had to concede defeat when Jamie moved to the checkmate position during our chess game. Yep, that's the correct use. When my head hit the dashboard, I had to concede and went to the doctor. We had to concede a meal from leftovers. Well, that kind of feels accurate sometimes.
Fantastic! You got it.
Okay. That's it for this one. On to Winnemucca. Aw, no video. Okay. Sarah Winnemucca, or Shellflower, well, I know which one that's going to be in Clue, was a Paiute Indian woman who struggled to secure rights for her people. She did this through peaceful means. Sarah Winnemucca was born in what is today known as Nevada. Winnemucca was a joyful child who gathered shellflowers and wove them into wreaths and necklaces. In the Paiutes' Festival of Flowers, she sang about the flower for which she was named. Through her song, she created the impression of becoming the flower. A little bit. I think she's supposed to be encouraging, but in that talking to kids way. Although Chief Winnemucca, her grandfather, worked with settlers, Sarah was terrified of them. She thought they resembled owls with their big white eyes. However, this changed after Sarah became sick and a white woman nursed her back to health. Sarah stopped fearing the owl people. Winnemucca began spending time with settlers and learned to speak English fluently. Because she spoke English and her native language, Sarah became an interpreter. When settlers arrived by the hundreds and demanded property rights, war broke out. Given that she spoke both English and Paiute, Winnemucca began mediating between the two sides. Another Native American woman, Winnema, acted as interpreter for her tribe as well. Later in life, Sarah lectured about her people's hardships. Roberta Campbell Lawson of the Delaware tribe lectured in Missouri, much like Sarah did in Nevada. Sarah also wrote a book about the Paiutes' strife to bring their story to the public's attention. Blackhawk wrote his autobiography for the same purpose. After many years of activism, Winnemucca retired. Sarah Winnemucca, who in her life had been respectively called the Princess by white settlers and Mother by Paiutes, died of tuberculosis on October 16, 1891. She was an extraordinary woman who fought for peace. She was known as the Shellflower, and the Princess, and Mother. But we'll go with Shellflower.
Think about it. Then
What?
try again.
Oh, not known. Duh, okay. That's what I get for not reading it.
Great! You got it.
Okay. Clue. And there was one of these that mentioned Shellflower. There we go. Working for peace, not for power. Gaining strength as Shellflower.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Okay. I was anxious to have the chance of mediating the doctor. No. My dog was mediating his bone in the corner of the room? No, not that either. Kevin often found himself mediating the fights between his friends. Yes. That fits. Man, I'm going to be 5 points off of a perfect
Wonderful.
score. That kind of
You're
sucks.
Absolutely correct.
Okay. And last, we've got Jumper. John Jumper. Okay, let's get this lined up. There we go. John Jumper was a Seminole Indian leader dedicated to peace. His birth name, Oti Ematla, means he makes sense. This name held true for Jumper throughout his life. John Jumper was born in Florida. He lived there into his adulthood when he freely chose to relocate to government-allotted lands. John made this move with Chief McCanopy and other tribe members. The Seminoles who remained in Florida fought white settlers and the United States government under the leadership of Billy Bowlegs and Osceola. These altercations continued in Florida until the Native Americans either moved or died. Jumper became the leader of the Seminoles. He worked with the United States government to improve his tribe's conditions, much like Sarah Winnemucca and Winnema did for their tribes. For example, Jumper asked that the Seminoles and the Creeks be separated within Indian territory. These tribes had been enemies for years, and Jumper knew they would fight if they lived near each other. The request made sense, and the government agreed to separate the tribes, but the U.S. officials were not always so understanding. Eventually, Jumper became frustrated with the government. At one point, the Seminoles were forced to sell all of their land to the government. Then they had to turn around and buy less land at a higher price from the Creeks. This aggravated the hostile feelings between the two tribes. Jumper protested this unjust transaction, but could not change the situation. As a result, Jumper resigned as chief of the Southern Seminole tribe. Jumper died in 1896. By that time, he had served as a leader of both the Seminole and Baptist communities. Jumper lived a full life struggling for peace and justice. His entire life he lived up to his name. He made sense. The thing about the Seminole and Baptist communities kind of reminds me of Madeline Island in northern Wisconsin. There was a really interesting Christian Indian community up there, and the cultural aspect of it was really fascinating. Why did John resign as chief of the Southern Seminole? He was frustrated.
You're a genius.
Weep. Okay, I think there was one in here about making sense. Yep, leading the Seminoles was often quite tense, but all throughout life this person made sense.
Fantastic! You got it!
You got it! I aggravated the cat down from the tree. That could work. Joey aggravated against going to bed. I aggravated my mom's bad mood by spilling my milk. Well, yeah, that'll happen.
Excellent! Keep up the good work.
Excellent. Okay. Is it just gonna...
Look at this score. You beat Stratus.
Yay! 99%. Bah!
Miss Stafford, I did it!
Now get me the hell out of here! Good thing I had that fainting couch in the right spot.
Olivia says his will stopped shaking.
Not yet, at least.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh! All right. All right, we'll do one more of these paintings here. We'll go with Dame Shirley. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a save state really quick, too. Oh, that's right, I have to click OK. Come on. Oh, I unchecked it. There we go. Now we got it.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Where am I?
We've seen this one. Dang it. I hate it when they do that kind of thing. They did that with the last disc, too, where they just replayed some of the videos. No portrait available, huh?
I've just written my sister, telling her all about our new home here in this mining camp named Rich Bar. The gold rush housing is very rough, so we must be creative. For instance, this dressing table? Well, it's a trunk mounted on 2 boxes and covered with a neatly fringed blue linen. Our front door is canvas without a latch of any kind. Our library is in a candle box. The fireplace is built of stones and mud, and the chimney is finished off with mortar and rough sticks. Our window is...
I've done stuff like that before.
I've gone out of my way to decorate our home with flowers and vines from the local hillside. Being the only woman resident, I thought that these personal touches might add some civilization to all those who enter my primitive palace.
Okay.
Play 3 different games to get
Yep,
one
I know,
strategy.
I know. Dame Shirley wrote vivid letters that described life during the gold rush. Her writings are rare because few women wrote about the mining camps. Dame Shirley was born Louisa Amelia Knapp Smith in Elizabeth, New Jersey. As a girl, Louisa loved to paint and write. In her childhood, her siblings gave her the nickname Shirley, which she liked and kept. As a young woman, Shirley married Dr. Fayette Clapp. He decided that they should take advantage of the California gold rush. Because there were so many miners and so few doctors in the mining camps, Dr. Clapp believed he could make a fortune there. The Clapps packed their belongings and headed west. Once they arrived in Rich Bar, California, Shirley had an easy life. Because she was one of only 4 women at the camp, the miners treated her like a queen. Shirley did not work and spent most of her time writing letters to her sister, Mary Jane. These letters made Shirley famous. They reported the squalid conditions, the miners' arduous labor, and the men's obsession with gold. She signed every letter Dame Shirley. Eliza Farnham and Jessie Benton Fremont wrote about the gold rush as well, but Dame Shirley wrote in much greater detail. In addition to writing letters, Shirley assisted her husband in caring for the sick. One time she sat for 5 days with a man whose amputated leg was infected. Shirley fed him milk by the spoonful until he recovered. After several years, Shirley left her husband and eventually moved to a town called San Francisco, founded by Sam Brannan. On February 9th, 1906, Shirley died. Fortunately, Mary Jane kept Shirley's letters, which became a book titled The Shirley Letters. In the famous letters, Shirley captured firsthand the excitement and hardships of the California gold rush.
all set?
Yep. What was so special about the letters Dame Shirley wrote about the gold rush? They were very detailed.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
Okay.
Now
So,
Donald,
this ginger ale with bite is not a good thing to drink when you're talking a lot on a live stream. It's tasty. It's very good, but it aggravates the back of the throat a little bit. Okay, what do we got? No care to be proper. Okay, this one sounds about right, but I want to take a look at some of the others. Oh, here we go. Began with dear, ended with dame. Recording the gold rush was this person's fame. Shame we don't have a picture of her.
genius.
We came home to an arduous surprise. It was a relief to breathe the arduous air. Now, the doctor had to go through years of arduous study and training.
Fantastic.
I don't envy what doctors have to go through. At all. I very much respect it, but I just... It's one of those things where I'm glad there are other people that can do it, because I sure as hell couldn't.
Even the Rockies couldn't stop the rush for gold. Sutter tried hard to keep it quiet, knowing it meant trouble. But it was like fighting a prairie fire with a bucket. People came from everywhere, from way beyond the far Missouri, the Mississippi, and the Monongahela. Where there was no road, it was block and tackle, and just plain old willpower.
Ah, there we go. Pardon me. Okay. John Sutter owned the mill where gold was discovered in California. I thought Sutter's mill was kind of... it was in the back of my mind, and I'm like, is that the right Sutter? His discovery initiated a period called the Gold Rush. John Sutter was born in Bergdorf, Switzerland. As a boy, John often played with a globe in his living room and daydreamed of far-off lands. Sounds like me. He was especially intrigued by a golden-colored place called America. At the age of 21, John set sail for America. He ended up in California, which was owned by Mexico and governed by Pio Pico. Sutter became friends with important Mexican figures like Don Juan Bandini and received land in California. Sutter wanted to turn his land, called Sutter's Mill, into an agricultural site. However, when his foreman discovered gold at the mill in 1848, John knew his life would change. John tried to keep his discovery quiet, but Sam Brannan spread the news all over San Francisco, and the gold rush hit like a tornado. People from all over raced to California in hopes of digging a fortune. To pan for gold, miners squatted for hours in an ice-cold stream, which resulted in aching backs and numb arms at the end of each day. The men lived in mining camps, and only a few brought their wives. Some of these women, like Dame Shirley, Eliza Farnham, and Jessie Benton Fremont, wrote about the gold rush frenzy. While some found California to be a lucrative place, John Sutter lost his money. During the gold rush, he gave away everything to miners and friends. He had always been a generous person, even to a fault. John Sutter died in poverty on June 18, 1880. He was the man who accidentally started one of the biggest crazes in American history. Yeah, no kidding. Basically the 19th century version of Bitcoin mining. Where was John Sutter born? He was born in Switzerland.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Come on. There we go. Okay. There we go. Owned the mill where gold was discovered, lost all the money, never recovered.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
The girl was intrigued by the sounds she heard in the forest. That could be it. I was intrigued into giving up my good place in line. Nope. Mark intrigued me to his visiting cousin. Nope, that's not it either.
You're a genius.
Alright. Oh, that's right. Got to do the little compass thing. Compass ding? Oh, geez. Okay. I'm going to try to get this right now because I'm going to have to say it a lot. Liliuokalani? Liliuokalani. It's not easy to say. Ooh, a video. Yay. Interesting how you can even make out the rainbow in a black and white image. That's kind of cool. Okay. Liliuokalani was the last queen of Hawaii. She possessed grace and dignity and had a deep concern for her people. Early in Hawaii's history, Hawaii was a matriarchal society, with people's love for their queen bordering on adulation. Liliuokalani was born into this society. Liliuokalani was born to a mother who came from high chief descent. Her father was also a chief, but from a lesser line. A rainbow spanning the surrounding countryside signaled her birth. As was Hawaiian custom, Liliuokalani's parents gave her to people of higher ranking. It was this selfless act that eventually put her in line for the throne. Oh, here we go. When Liliuokalani's brother Kalakaua became king of Hawaii, the island was in a difficult political situation. Americans, like Sam Brannan, were disrupting the Hawaiians' way of life by purchasing large tracts of land and developing big businesses. Most native Hawaiians did not like the Americans, but King Kalakaua worked closely with them. When the native Hawaiians decided the king favored the Americans over his own people, they dethroned him. As a result, Liliuokalani became queen. As queen, Liliuokalani tried to save her precious islands from American annexation. However, the annexation of Hawaii was completed within a few years, and Queen Liliuokalani reluctantly gave up her crown. Liliuokalani could only hope that the change would bring better lives for her people. By the time she died in 1917, Liliuokalani had made significant contributions to Hawaii. She wrote a history book titled Hawaii's Story by Hawaii's Queen. She also wrote 200 songs, including the Hawaiian national anthem, Aloha Oe, Farewell to Thee. She was also a beloved leader who always had the best interests of her people in her heart. Whew. That was a tough one to read. How did she become queen? Her brother was dethroned and she was next in line. I didn't realize that was her brother. Oh well.
Fantastic! You got it!
Must have missed that part. Alright. Let's see. The last monarch, beloved and brave, island kingdom tried to save.
Excellent! Keep up the good work.
Alright, on to the word. I was just making a note to remember to try to hunt down that Black Hawk autobiography because it sounds really interesting. The matriarchal bruise hurt for a week. Nope. Going to visit a matriarchal zoo was exciting. It could be. The Hawaiians had a matriarchal society.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
Ding! Jesse Benton Fremont. Jesse Benton Fremont was a strong-willed character. Living in a time when women had limited opportunities, she persevered and overcame restrictions placed on her gender. Jessie was the favorite daughter of Missouri Senator Thomas Hart Benton. Everyone expected Jessie to be a proper lady, but to their dismay she was a rebellious young woman. In keeping with this independent nature, Jessie loved playing practical jokes. Awesome. Everyone always said that Jessie and her male cousin looked like twins, so they decided to try to fool people. At a formal party, Jessie wore her cousin's uniform and he wore Jessie's frilly dress. Everyone was fooled. The rascals considered themselves quite clever and laughed about it for years. When she was 17, Jessie eloped with John Fremont, the famous government explorer. The newlyweds moved to San Francisco, California, the town developed by Sam Brannan. Soon after, they moved to the gold mines to take advantage of the gold rush that John Sutter sparked. Jessie was reluctant to live in the country, but she grew to enjoy pioneer life, which women such as Eliza Farnham also knew and loved. Like another pioneer woman, Dame Shirley, Jessie wrote letters about her experiences. In one letter, Fremont reported that she used to fear caterpillars and insects, but eventually came to think nothing of encountering a rattlesnake on her way from the garden to her kitchen. As a result of her rugged pioneer life, Jessie grew more independent as she aged. This brought her much criticism. The critics believed that women should hide their abilities, but Jessie Fremont completely disagreed. Jessie died on December 27, 1902. She was an ebullient woman who resisted the constraints of the society in which she lived. There you go, Eric. You know, handle ebullient perfectly, but screw up society. Why did Jessie and her husband move to California? To take advantage of the gold rush.
You're a genius.
Okay. Which one? No care to be proper, this person moved west, experiencing the gold rush and writing the best.
Fantastic! You got it!
Ah, there we go. The ebullient speaker captivated the audience. That sounds right. The ebullient water spilled over the sides of the pan. Kind of. The man went on a diet to try and get rid of his ebullient stomach. That's one way to describe it.
Excellent! Keep up the good work.
All right. 3 more to go. Pico. I have a Sega Pico handy. Not gonna haul it out tonight, though. Pico de Jesus Pico. Okay. Pio de Jesus Pico was California's last Mexican governor. He was a shrewd, talented man, successful in both business and local politics. Pico was born in the San Diego area of California when it was under Mexican rule. He was one of 10 children in his family. He received little formal education but overcame this limitation through hard work. In 1844, Pico helped defeat Governor Manuel Michel Torrena. He found out that Michel Torrena and John Sutter planned to make California a territory independent from Mexico. The Mexican military commander, Jose Castro, also knew of this plan. Castro offered Pio Pico the chance to be governor if he would help stop Michel Torrena. He accepted the offer, and together Pico and Castro were a successful team. In a short battle, they defeated Michel Torrena. Pico received his reward as promised. Pio Pico became governor of California and immediately took action. He sent Michel Torrena back to Mexico. He then had Michel Torrena's accomplice, John Sutter, arrested for participating in the mutinous plan. Pico's Secretary of State, Juan Bandini, eventually helped release Sutter from jail. Pico remained governor until 1848, when the Americans invaded California. John C. Fremont led the American invasion of California. Pico had little hope that his troops could beat the American forces. He believed the Americans were too powerful. As a result, Pico left California and went far into Mexican territory. When the war ended, he eventually returned. Pio de Jesus Pico lived the rest of his life in the Los Angeles area. Although his life was long and full, he lost most of his land during the American invasion. He died in poverty at the age of 93. Wow, that's pretty long life for that time period. How did Pico get the opportunity to become governor of California? He was offered the position by Jose Castro.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
Okay. Mexican governor, last of a kind, American invasion put in a bind.
You're a genius.
The driver of the getaway car was arrested as an accomplice to the crime. Yep, that's it. Each year my class goes to an accomplice to have its picture taken, I suppose. The award winner gave an accomplice so long the audience fell asleep.
Fantastic. You got it.
Okay, next up is Bandini. Oh, he looks a little terrifying. Oh, it was squished. Okay, that's not quite as bad. Don Juan Lorenzo Bruno Bandini. It's fun to say. Don Juan Lorenzo Bruno Bandini was an influential man in the Mexican government of California. He was a gentle, determined, and well-respected man who fought on many fronts to maintain his dignity. Bandini was born in Arica, Peru, and moved to San Diego, California in his youth. He was raised to be the perfect gentleman, and learned his lessons well. From a young age, Juan demonstrated grace, generosity, and warmth, for which he was always loved and respected. Bandini's claim to fame was as a government official in California prior to the American invasion. Although the Mexican Wars of the 1850s made California an unstable place to live, Bandini managed to establish some security for himself. He became Governor Pio Pico's Secretary of State. From this, he earned a good reputation and had the opportunity to acquire land. Despite this good fortune, however, Juan struggled much in his life. Juan Bandini battled both his poor health and California's struggling economy in an effort to support his family. He attempted to follow in John Sutter's footsteps and mine for gold. This attempt was unsuccessful. Juan also tried to open a hotel on his property, which would serve miners on their way to San Francisco. This project also failed. As the years passed, and Juan became more debilitated, he barely managed to feed his family. He incurred large debts. Despite his difficult economic situation, Juan maintained his gentlemanly demeanor and his status as a nobleman in society. People continued to have enormous respect for Bandini, even in his most destitute moments. Until Bandini died on November 4th, 1859, he remained a consultant to Governor Pio Pico. Which of the following did Bandini not do? Okay, I'm catching the not this time. He did not become governor of California. 99%.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Poor in health, gentle in nature, held a position in state legislature. There we go, right off the bat.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
After the stroke, my mother had to get debilitated? The cat debilitated the milk from the saucer. Hey, that happened earlier tonight. Earlier today. The hurricane knocked down all the telephone and electricity wires, leaving the townspeople debilitated. Yeah, that's the one that fits the best.
You're a genius.
Okay, last one. Farnham. Wasn't that the drunken Diablo? Can a man drink in peace? Oh, this is a woman, so it's not the same person. Eliza W. Farnham was a writer and pioneering woman. She believed that California society needed shaping up and that she was just the person to do it. Eliza Farnham was born in Rensselaerville, New York, where she began a difficult life. When Eliza was young, her mother died, and Eliza was separated from her siblings. Unfortunately, unkind relatives raised her. They prohibited her from attending school and made her work all day long. Eliza was persistent, however, and taught herself to read. Farnham did many amazing things in her life. After working as a prison guard, she moved to California to tend a farm. She wanted the farm to be run by women so they could civilize California. Farnham thought that California was full of rude men who needed lessons in etiquette. She believed that introducing more women to the community could evoke a change in the men. Even though only 3 women responded to Farnham's appeal to join her farm, the persistent Farnham continued her dream. She borrowed 2 horses and a mule and farmed with a small team of hired hands. Farnham always rode around the farm on her horse wearing red top boots and a sombrero. She loved her land and painted with its beautiful scenery. When she traveled to San Francisco to check on her finances, she always had an escort and 2 guns in case of attack. Hey there, White Stars. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, welcome. We're on our last story here, learning about Eliza Farnham. Like Jessie Benton Fremont and Dame Shirley, Eliza wrote a lot about the gold rush. Farnham based her stories on exciting life adventures. When she died in December of 1864, Eliza Farnham had become a legend in California. She is remembered as a persistent individual who recorded her life in writing. This is actually going to be the last bit of the PlayStation Edutainment stuff that I've been doing this month. I'm going to switch to a different game after I'm done with this. And then tomorrow night, I've got something else in mind. Still educational, both, but a little bit of a different tack. Why did Eliza want her farm to be run by women? She thought they could civilize California.
Fantastic. You guys...
So how was your stream tonight, White Stars? What were you playing? Okay, let's see here. Oh, that was it. That was it. Go back. Lived in a state of miners and tanners, wanting to teach them a few decent manners.
Excellent.
Weep.
Keep up the good work.
I took 2 aspirin for my etiquette. My mother has an etiquette collection displayed. No, we went to special school to learn rules of etiquette. That would be the one.
Wonderful. You're absolutely correct.
All right.
Look at this score. You beat Stratus.
100% this time. None of this 99%.
Are you okay?
I will be as soon as this world stops shaking.
Sarah, you're back. There's no earthquake here.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh! So there we go. That was a lot of really interesting historical education stuff. I enjoyed that. In fact, I will be coming back to this. I've got other, like, I'd say most of this is stuff I haven't touched yet on stream. I had about 50 unique discs, and I've done 2 months of this so far, so... But, yeah, I'll definitely pick back up on this the next time we get around to Edutainment, but that's going to be a while. To close out the night, close out, I'm only about halfway through my stream, but I decided to play another game that kind of does a little bit of edutainment. And it was somewhat inspired by all of the stuff about American Indians that we were learning earlier tonight. I'm going to switch over to the PS4 and play Never Alone. Oops. Here we go. Oh, that's right. You've been working on Pugsy. How's that going? Oh, that's a shame. So this is a game I haven't actually played on stream. But interestingly enough, this was one of the first streams I ever watched. I watched Shuhei Yoshida, the former head of Sony Worldwide Studios, play this on Twitch. And it convinced me to buy the game. I actually ended up helping him with one of the puzzles, too, which made me feel pretty cool. But it's a beautiful little puzzle game that based around Inupiat fairy tales, or, you know, folk tales. Oh, gotcha. So let's edit the stream info. Whoops. Oh, I forgot to shut down the PSTV. There we go. Well, let's grab the correct controller. Update the stream information. Okay. So let's dive in. This is a beautiful game. Not a lot of replay value, but I've played through it 3 times, maybe 4. Because it's definitely a good game to play multiplayer. Just kind of keeping an eye on the audio here. I'm going to go with a new game. The Inupiat are an Alaskan native people who have thrived for thousands of years in one of the most formidable environments on Earth. And you can unlock cultural insights, and we will be watching those tonight. Oh, okay. The unlockables stay unlocked even if you do start a new game. So we'll start by watching one of these right offhand, because I think this is available right off the bat.
One of the things I think a lot of people need to understand is we aren't a museum piece. The Inupiaq people are a living people and a living culture. Even though we're in northern Alaska, which covers this vast area from Nome all the way over the Canadian border, is that there's this extreme value of interconnectedness and interdependence.
It's a hunting society, a gathering society from thousands of years.
This is what creates our culture.
That special relationship between humans and the natural world and the animals, and that it teaches you how to have a society that doesn't do too much harm to the world.
Love and respect for nature, for one another, for our elders. Very, very fundamental value, key to life.
Our values are something that bind us all. The importance of sharing with one another, the importance of spirituality, and the connection to the land, our traditions, how we hunt, sharing of stories and songs and dances.
I'm Inupiaq. I'm from the Arctic Ocean.
I am Inupiaq.
It's very important to me. It's who I am as a person.
And we're very proud of who we are, and we want to continue that.
Taalaqanilaqannassuq unipkaartuaq qaaviuraqama. Niviaqsiaqarualugguuq iñuuniaqaneqsuq angayoqaagamani. Sumiteemma. Niviaqsiaqarualuk anguniallatuneqsuq. Aasiisulaqallavluni supayaanik. Iñuuniaqhutik anuqqautigait. Anuqqulingailliaqsuq. Anuqqulingailliaqpaalluni kisaimma paniqnialiaqsigut. Niviaqsiaqarualuk kisaimma isummeqtoq. Tavraasi kangitsaquaqsigaasumman anuqqulisuguruqumagaan. Summan anuqqulingailliaqamagaan. Tavraasi kangitsaquaqsigaasumman anuqqulisuguruqumagaan.
It's one of the things I love about this game is the Inupiat narration with the subtitles. I don't know what it is about his voice, but it stirs me. It's really cool.
Anuqulakpaalluni suniiraqanaitsoqunni. Tavrani piaqsiaqarualuk ayuungitsoq. Payyagniuliqsoq.
Oh shit, a bear! There's the fox! So yeah, like I said, this game is really best played two-player, because then you can have one person control the fox and one person control the girl. But you can do it single player, it just takes a little bit more internal coordination. Haha.
Tuqutawayaqtoq kisimriumi. Arraannapqangapiaqtoq.
We'll go a little bit further before I pull up another insight.
Qulirringaitsoq iñugunun teriganniaqaqanivlugu. Teriganniaq taamna allatun ingitsoq.
Fortunately, the fox just kind of automatically follows when you're controlling Nuna and vice versa. Flop.
Ibeaqsiaqaruan kangersingaroq. Supayaat ikayok taqaqalivlugut. Allauluni taamna teriganniaq.
Whoops.
Sivuneqsip kangara ibeaqsiaqarualuk. Qanut
Yeah, sorry about that.
ibeaqsiaqarualuk kangersingaroq. Supayaat allauluni taamna teriganniaq. Sivuneqsip kangara ibeaqsiaqarualuk. Qanutut peqpaganaqtilaangit tamatkua ikayok tauruat.
There we go. The fox made the spirits show up, so it was better to have the fox going up first. Oops. Didn't get that jump quite right. There we go. Nope, almost didn't make it. Oh, that time I didn't make it. Checkpoints are fairly generous in this. Ah. So I don't mean to keep, like, clipping past those scenes, but in a way I kind of do, because holy crap is it sad. Like, if Nuna falls into the water, the fox kind of makes a sad yelp, and Nuna just falls down and breaks into tears if the fox drowns, and it's just awful. Oh, right. I thought she could crawl, but that's not what we're after. Wow. Whoa. There we go. That was close. Oh. Seems like there should have been another puff of wind there. That's not good. Let's watch the next insight.
It'd be busy, busy, busy all through the day. You get up and you just go right to work, you know, right to work.
There was always something to do. There was never any idle time. The only idle time we had was after we eat and before we go to bed.
One of the older people would be just relaxing, laying down there and saying, you know, it'd be really nice to hear a story. And then just organically, someone would just start telling the story.
Storytelling for the Nupiaq people is very important because it not only created that sense of community, but is a way to pass on wisdom to the next generation.
It was like TV, you know? It was just like, it was as good as anything, any movie you've ever seen. And the storyteller told it so clearly that it was just as powerful as any of the greatest movie blockbusters you've ever seen.
There was a reason behind the stories that we were told because they held traditional knowledge. They held things that we might need to know in life, whether it was about how to find food or how to survive, or it was about well-being and the importance of connecting with people and being a good member of the community.
We all do stories. We all live in stories. We all tell stories to our friends. And they need to be told. They need to be heard.
All right.
Inyo kuluk dikin ngamarok ibyak siyagro pingan. Iba halak si marok sumitem. Dikatsak kumanyain yaksok. Pakit kangaw nago. Ibak tani. Nunakik ikiwak tuwa ko yaksok. Inyo may tukot taktawan yaksit.
I think I know where we should watch the next insight, so... Normally they're uncovered by finding owls. The owls are generally in slightly difficult places to get to, so it's a little bit of an extra challenge to find them all. But since I've unlocked them all, I'm not going to run into any owls.
Imenyaur Chagabegemil, Samanga Nunami.
Ooh, that was a tricky jump. Okay. Gonna help out here, Loon Spirit? There we go.
Hi, going today.
Wait, can I go in here? No, okay.
Kano ko mailisimanek pag isumundag to ni Beak siya karualo. Kano kita pura kau nagay pen. Kailaw ti ka piyup ko. Ikayo ko niya kalaway pen kimon dahil nanake sa bakit ilang.
That's one of the owls you have to find. And it's kind of nice because you get a little bit of an audio clue that one's nearby with the hooting. Oh, I thought we had to go under there to find his drum. There we go. Oop. Gotta wait for the wind again. Thanks! You're a big help, Fox! Okay. I do need to keep doing this. If it fits, I sits. Can't let you do that, Star Fox! Hey there, Omni Bro. Welcome, welcome. Dang it. Thought I was close enough. Oh, okay. Oops. Took that one right on the noggin. See what I mean? It's sad! Come on. Keep it up. Oh, jeez. Okay. I gotta be a little bit more quick than that. Start moving as soon as he throws it. What? Okay, I can't even touch it with my feet. Give me a break. It's been a couple of years since I've played this game. There we go. Whoops. How did it know which way to roll? Almost didn't make that. Ah, jeez. Not following the rules. Oh. Dang. Here, Fox, you go over there. No! I was trying to keep you safe, dang it. One more should do the trick. Didn't throw that one very well, did you? Or... oh, I think we might be done. Okay. Yay, we got the drum. Alright, Fox. Get up there, get up there. There we go. Is there a rope? Nope, but there is one over here. Is that as far as it'll go? Alright. I was never any good at the rope climb when I was a kid. I was terrible at it. Alright.
So scrimshaw is this really beautiful method of art that's done either on baleen or ivory, and traditionally it was used to tell stories.
Each etching is telling a story of some event. Caribou hunting was taking place. This is what was going on. War began around this time, and so it sort of gives you a timeline of history through etching.
An elder or the person who carved it would literally be able to read the scrimshaw story.
They're like reading a book, in a way.
A lot of the storytelling traditions would be things that after the storytelling was done, we just rely on the next person telling it. And so scrimshaw is a very important way for Alaskan Native
Oh, that is so cool. Okay, back to the game. Awesome. You go ahead and do your sing thing. We got stuff to do. Thank you, Wind. That was handy. Nope, I need to be over here. Face it. Okay, now I can climb up. Thank you. The control of the bola is a little tricky. Oh, that was a rotten trick. Because you have to pull it back and then jerk it in the other direction, which can sometimes make it difficult to aim. Oh, is that not something? Oh, okay, that's background. Whoops. Oh well. Oh, I guess I didn't need it. Ah, now I do. Okay, switch here. Okay. Wasn't quite sure if Nuna could make that jump at first. Oh. Just barely grazing it is enough, I guess. Oh, wait. I gotta wait for wind. And there we go. Can you make it? Nope. Okay. There we go. That is one ugly mug. No. It's mine. Whoa. No, I don't want to skip it. I was trying to hang on. go ahead and watch another insight.
When I was growing up,
Such a cute little critter.
my boss had a pet white fox. If you're a good friend with a fox, when there's danger abound, they try to keep you from getting into trouble. They pull tricks here and there, and foxes are like spoiled little kids in a way. When you let her out, she'd go prancing out in the snow, jumping in the air. I know she was happy then. Come running at me and jump on my chest, knock me backwards, lick my face, and I try not to let her. So that was my memory of my grandpa's pet fox.
I have a friend that's described foxes as cat software running on dog firmware. I'm probably going through these a lot faster than they would otherwise show up in the game, but I have no other way to gauge when I should show them, and I love showing them off. Bunch of seals back there. Just keep moving. Oh no, not you again. Hello, spirit fish. Okay, I was supposed to piss it off.
Sasa ko may akalo nanok ang nagkubit. Pinatitakabi. Kakame nanok. Likat jalay.
Bears are spiteful assholes.
Pagalan taman nano na alaw.
Right? Okay, that's plenty of time. Nope, that didn't work. Yeah, Luke talked now that suck too. There we go. Okay. Now we can go. Keep moving, keep moving. Yeah. You know, for it just being ice and water, that was pretty terrifying. Okay, here's our first boss fight, as it were. I can't remember how to do this, though. Unless I'm supposed to... No. So I'm pretty sure this is part of what I'm supposed to do, I just can't quite... Ah, there we go. Progress. So I am supposed to piss it off. Whoa! Dang it. Oh, that was kind. Starting me off from where I was. Alright. Oh. This is gonna be tricky. Okay, just jump right over him. There we go. Let's go! Well, let's watch another insight since we've got the option.
Caribou was... it provided for us in many ways.
Our our clothing in those days was made of all caribou skin.
I grew up wearing caribou bands, mittens, caribou skin mattress, blankets.
Some people had boots that were made with wolf leggings, sealskin sole bottoms. Baleen was shaved to make insoles. They kept us quite dry and warm as well.
Sounds comfy as heck.
Skin clothing was the best. And we would get as many yearlings as we could for our outer clothing. And for heavy winter, we would get caribou in February or March because the hair was the longest and the skin was the thickest, and we would use those for our winter gear. With that stuff on, you could sleep outside in 50 below and it wouldn't bother you a bit.
If it's good enough for caribou, it's good enough for them.
Niveaksiagalu alugulo, diriganniagalu imaaktuk. Asi takium angalat kaksibilluik. Takium iukai kairusunginun uktakpau. Ara kanukutik taima ipingitpak.
Well, at least they bring that up. Let's go to the right first. Because it looks like we were being led to the left. So I always like to check out in the opposite direction to see if there's any wonders in that over that way. Hello, spirit. Okay. One more should do it. There we go. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's fantastic the way they convey that, too. Like, it doesn't just look like water, it looks like friggin' cold ice water. Come on. There you go. Whoops. That's fine. As long as she actually stays there. Come on. Get up there. Come on. There you go. Right on target. She can't jump off a wall. Can she jump high enough to get to it? No. Is there something else over here that we need to do? Well, yeah, but she needs to be able to get up there.
It's an irresistible force!
Raid! Hey there, DOS Nerd, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Can you bring it down a bit? Or are we supposed to go around here? Ah, there we go. We need to fetch that little ball of spirit energy. Okay. Oh. Which Donkey Kong? Was it the... like Donkey Kong 98, or was it Donkey Kong Land? Whoops. 94, that's the one I was thinking of. I've heard interesting things about that. I'm kind of curious. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do, but that's fine as long as he's up there. No, it isn't. Okay. Come on. Over this way a little bit more, and there we go. I thought there was a bit of ice to break up here, but I guess not. There we go. I just kind of liked how they turned Donkey Kong into a full-on platform game. I thought it was kind of clever. It's probably way too much of a challenge for me, but I like the concept. Okay, let's bring you up here. Now we get the bola. And slide! Whee! Can I get this through there? No, I cannot. And... oh, I see what I need to do. Okay. So like I was saying earlier, this game's a lot easier with 2 people. Because you can collaborate a lot easier. Come on. I'm trying to swing. There we go. Nope, not enough. Okay. Let's put you in place here. Switch back to Nuna. Try to do this right this time. Oh, I should have just gone on that swing. I think I was too far up the arm last time. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. Time for a ride, Nuna. This game is forgiving on occasion. Okay. So, DOS Nerd, I did a whole lot of stuff on DOSBox over the weekend. Trying to get ready for some stuff. Whoops, that didn't work. And tomorrow night's game that I was teasing you about is going to be Star Trek Klingon. And then I decided, why stop there? So one of my future streams is going to be one of my future stream focuses. I'm going to play through Star Trek 25th Anniversary and Star Trek Final Unity. Both point-and-click adventures that featured voices from the original series cast and Next Generation cast. Okay. Is there anything you can help us with here? Yep. Okay. Need you to come back over here. Can I get it? Nope. Not from here. Oh, wait. Fox might be able to bring it closer. No? Let me get a... Oh, might be able to do this. There we go. Whee! Okay. Now we can bring the Shadow Ball closer. Or Spirit Ball. So Nuna can bola it. There's another thing to break. Crunch! Come as you are. Oh. Sure, let's watch an insight.
Scylla is the weather. It also means the atmosphere. Here's the Nuna, or the land, and it's anything from the land into the moon, the sun, the stars. That's Sila.
It's a very spiritual, and we have a relationship with Sila. Sila has a soul in the same way we do as people, in the same way animals do.
I think spirit helpers in and of themselves are really about how we're connected with things. And so it may be that there is a spirit helper that shows themselves as a bird to show you the way home, or it may be a spirit helper that actually decides to show themselves with the face and body of a man instead of their animal form. And so I think one of the things that's hard to understand is that it's not one way of seeing things, it's one way of knowing you're connected to everything.
We've always had that spirituality of everything around us.
It's the interaction you have with the air you breathe, the ocean that you gather resources from, the rivers from which you gather fish, the tundra from which you pick berries, the animals that give themselves. It's all of that.
You know, they said that they were going to make more games like this based on other cultures that they wanted to showcase. I just don't know that they did, which is sad. So I absolutely love this.
Tipinerai sanganut nunaken.
We'll wait to do another insight. Oh no, this part. Okay, actually, this is what I think it is. We need to watch this one.
When I was young, my mom, whenever the Northern Lights came out, she'd just whistle.
Boy, they come alive. Just keep whistling and that aurora will... Just like, you can almost hear it.
And then she explained to me a little bit later that those are children. And children who've passed away when they were children. You don't want to draw them in too much, is what she said. Because then they could play football with your head. Play a small football. And that's what they want to do. They're always playing, those children up there.
Don't play out without your hood on. If you don't have your hood on, the aurora person is going to come down and chop your head off and play ball with your head.
It wasn't like they were trying to do bad, or it was like a scary story or anything like that. It was just, that's how it was. That's what it was.
I don't know, it's kind of a dick move on the parents' side of things, but it was hilarious. So actually, I think I might be a little bit behind on the cultural insights. We'll watch a few more in a bit. Gonna have more wind to help us out here, or... Nope. let's try this. There we go. It might be interesting. I hope they don't cheese it too much. Because, like, the Lower Decks episode of Next Generation was, like, interesting, but also devastating. Like, holy crap, the end. So I hope it's not 100% cheese goofy. Alright, come on, Fox. Here we go. Ah, okay, here we go. Alright, let's get you up here. Oh, nope, you can't. But this will probably work. Yep, there we go. Okay. Your turn, Nuna. Yep, Nuna, you gotta put your hood up. Or else this'll happen. Yeah. Kinda creepy. Ooh, that was close. Nope, I think we need to go over here. Stay out of the way, Nuna. Okay. Now Nuna should be able to grab that rope. And the next one. Can you climb up there? Yep. Okay. Where to next? Oh, I think just back this way. There was probably an owl over there to unlock a cultural insight. But I've unlocked all of them, so there aren't any owls, sadly. Okay. Should be able to... Whoops! Well, that wasn't helpful. Okay. Again, generous checkpointing in this game. Ah, okay. There we go. Get up there, Nuna. Come on. Oops, wrong button. Oh, I hadn't noticed that. These things are creepy enough without that. Yeah, they do. There we go. Just enough. Jeez. Okay. Now let's get the fox over here. No, 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 no. Crap. They're just children that want to play. See, stuff like that doesn't happen when you're playing two-player. Come on, get up there. No! That's my friend. You can't have him. Yeah, for fuck's sake! There we go. Whoops. There we go. It's kind of interesting. You can see that there's going to be a burst of wind because the snow suddenly slightly changes direction and then the wind blows. Whoops. I was supposed to jump off. on. There we go. Cut it out. Okay. Let's get up on here. Hunker down. Come on, Fox. You too. Get ready to jump. That was almost bad. Switched to Nuna at just the wrong time. Hey, you. Oh! You again! Oh, not this part already. Jeez. Still gets me. It's just so casually brutal. Oops.
In the month of November, there's no sun. So during that dark time, we travel by the light of the moon. It's quite different. Everything was silver and black. Toward the horizon, we could see where caribou are because their body heat flowing upward, and we could see it glowing in the moonlight against a dark horizon where there's no stars. If somebody yelled, you could know who yelled from where the sound came from, but specifically for that cloud of their breath went up and it glowed in the moonlight. So that was a good time to travel. It was very surrealistic. And so things that were dark objects looked very close, and dark objects looked very far.
Yep. But now his spirit is with you. If you missed the actual death, it's probably for the best.
Kulange hellugo na paaktup nurangat. Terigan neam kinyaktit kay kanutun. Yakpaganak tinangin suli. Ikayui rod ilit kuchich.
Okay, we're fine now. Hey, little bunnies! Ah, there we go. Nope, just keep going. Okay. No spirits. Just jump with the wind. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. Got any spirits nearby? Yep, there we are. Terry, what are you doing? Yes, I get it. You want food. And or attention. I'll help you out in a few moments. Ah, here we go. No, that's not what I was trying to do. Oh, whatever. Oh. Bring him up. Wait for the next breeze. Ah. Let's grab you. Get you into bola range. Smack your spirit. No. So fidgety. There we go. This way or back to the left? To the left. Whoa. Alright. Fall down there after the wind goes. Man, that was a long detour for something you probably could have crawled through. Oops. Aha. Come on. There we go. Woohoo! Okay. We'll get into the next area, watch one more insight, and then call it a night. Thud. Okay, cultural insights. Let's see here. Is there one that I remember being really cool? Oh, that's... Yeah, let's go with that.
We're taught that there's no hierarchy. It's not everything else, and then man, you know, humans on top, and they're separate from everything. We're taught that everything is equal, and that all the animals have a human form or can be seen in a human form. And so they have just as much or more intelligence. You know, in fact, have a lot to teach people. And so that's how these transformations can happen. It's if the animal wants you to see it in its human form. There's a story where a man comes up to an ice hole and then realizes there's another man in his parka that's got stuck in the net, you know, and is just stuck like that. Oh, can you let me out? Please help me, you know. And so then he lets the man out, but then realizes that was actually a seal. That was a seal man. And just because that seal wanted that help, that seal allowed itself to be seen in human form.
All right. So that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. This game, I can't recommend this game enough. It's a great puzzle platformer. It's beautiful. It's got really interesting cultural insights. I mean, really high production value. You can see that there. And, you know, if it's something that you're at all interested in, it's on sale very often for, like, sometimes down to $2 on Xbox One, PS4, and Steam. So I can't recommend getting this game enough if it's your cup of tea. But that'll be it for tonight. Like I mentioned, tomorrow night I'm going to be playing Star Trek Klingon. It kind of follows the theme of edutainment. It's supposed to be set up like a holodeck Klingon cultural immersion simulation. It's an FMV game, but with all the production values you'd expect from an episode of Next Generation. It's really cool. It's even got Robert O'Reilly as Gowron, and you'll probably recognize a couple of the extras. But really good stuff. Wow. Tonight's pretty dead, isn't it? Well, let's go raid Dr. Cossack. He's like the only individual I know that's streaming right now. Raid channel. He's playing Final Fantasy IV, getting ready for a community race. Should be interesting. But I appreciate y'all dropping by. Thank you very much, all the raids and all that. Always appreciate it. And I will see you again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, enjoy Dr. Cossack.